Hello, welcome to Buckman's Model Mania. Today I'm going to do a little progress update on the Chaperone. I've been working on it quite a bit here lately, but I've also been, work has been rough here lately, so I haven't gotten as much done as I would like to. And this is just a mock-up of where we're about to end up after I do some work and after I do some fixes. So I've got the mast here. That's not attached yet. I've got the boiler deck, which is actually the passenger deck. It's odd that the bottom deck is called the main deck, not the boiler deck, because that's where the boiler is. I've got the smokestacks temporarily fitted in here, and those were 2 dowels, 1-inch dowels that I had to shave down. I actually just used a belt sander on them. Couple of rings up on the top. This is where the actual top of the smokestacks are going to go. This part here is the smokestack itself was always that diameter. This is so that the it's an outer ring, so that the pipe is not hot down there, down where people are, so people would not end up burning themselves on it. And there's 2 of them, and I'm going to switch over to my top view because there's a problem with the build. I just now saw it when I started to do the video, and it's a bad problem. It's something I have to fix, and I apologize. Let me see if I can straighten that out a little bit. Straighten the camera out so the build looks straight. So this doesn't look bad. You don't see the problem. I've actually already started repairing it. Go ahead and pull the back halves of the decks off. I don't think I've mentioned this before. I'm not really happy with the way they did the decks. They could have easily fit a single piece of balsa in there that long, or actually as big as the whole thing. Now here is where you're going to see a huge problem. Actually, like I said, I've already started fixing it. When I turned on the camera, this is how everything looked. And that is just wrong, because you can see it is visibly off. And before I cut it and stuck the smokestack in through the deck, this part was actually visible through the hole in the upper deck. Matter of fact, let me bring that back over and I'll show you what I'm talking about. When I put this on here, while I was just checking it out, that right there would block the smokestack from going down. And truly, matter of fact, let me turn on this light. Now, not going to help the shadows that much, but you can see where the smokestack splits off the top of the boiler, and I got a little bit of paint on here. I may touch that up. It's not going to be visible, but you can see how pronounced off kilter that is. And let me go back to this camera. Let me see if I can get it over here. Sorry for the shaky cam. This is where the problem is. When I put this on here, I failed to double check and make sure it was straight. I thought I did on the rest, but I didn't get this one. This one is key. There's actually the piece here actually went all the way across. Closed that, went across here, but to fit the smokestacks, that has to come out. So I cut that to the edge of the post here, and just now figured out that it was wrong. By the way, you can see here a couple of pieces of fencing. You can see these really small pieces. I mean, that's not photo etch, that's wood. And then the boiler is in. Quite a bit of work has been done. It's just a lot of stuff, haven't done a whole lot of videoing of it, or haven't videoed it at all. So let me switch back over and I'll show you. Like I said, I've cut this loose, cut it loose on both sides. And so what I'll do is I'll take my square like I just did, I will re-glue that, and it's going to take that little corner off. Then I'll bring this over. I'll have to do a little bit of sanding on this piece here to get it to fit, but I'll bring this over, and it's going to cut a good 1/8 of an inch off, and maybe a little bit more. You know, I'll get it to where it looks right, and then glue everything together. At that point, you can see here, at that point I will be almost ready to put the top deck on. There's a lot of stuff still to go on before, and I got to work out lights. But it's coming along. You can see that I did some bracing here and here. It's kind of funny because it shows in the plans bracing all the way around, because remember how pronounced this was in the last video, how far it leaned out? Well, it shows in the plans, and it says in the plans indicate that there should be this piece of wood all the way around. The plans, or the instructions, say just little places here and there, and which is fine, except for this is really flimsy because it's balsa wood. And also, I just looked at something that I want to point out. I did paint inside this wall and the back of this wall white, because you're going to be able to see them right through here if you get down far enough, because I'm going to light it inside. If I wasn't lighting it, everything would be perfect. And you can see the windows that I put in and the grates. These two, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure I'm going to put anything behind them. Maybe some fiberfill, just to not light block it so much, but to not let you see in. These windows definitely will need something behind them. A little bit of plastic that I'm going to sand so to diffuse it, so that you can't look directly in and see that there's no interior. Let me go ahead and move this camera. Bench is a mess as usual. And then I'm going to switch to it. And that's what I'm saying right there, is when you look through these windows, I don't want it to look like there's a completely empty interior. So, a little bit of work, a lot of work been done to it, a lot of work still to go, but I love how it's come together. If anybody's curious, everything on here so far is hand painted. Everything will be hand painted, because tendency is you hand paint wooden models. Hope you're enjoying this build. I am enjoying it a lot. And actually, this, now that I leaned back and looked at it, this shows how pronounced that is. I don't know why I didn't catch it before I turned the camera on it. You can see this one is also not straight, completely straight. That doesn't matter. This one's pretty good. Just this one here really matters. So that's where I'm at for now, and hope you're enjoying the build. I am loving it. It's a great build, great kit. Few problems. I'm going to make changes to it as I go, just so that it works out for me. And I'll see you next time. By the way, and like I almost forgot, like, subscribe. Come on over to Hobby Time Modelers on Facebook and YouTube. See what we're doing. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Have a great afternoon or day, evening, whatever time you're watching this. And I will catch you on the next video.